3, 2, 1.
Well, you want a bigger clap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to Stuff That We Like / Enjoy, at least at this point in time, and welcome to a very, very special episode. This is a recap of our last year of doing Stuff That We Like. We've officially been doing it for a year.
Yes.
That's insane.
Pretty crazy. So this is episode 52. So it's kind of crazy that without fail, we have released a podcast every single week
Yeah.
on Monday, other than one week when it was on a Sunday because we recorded it and forgot to post it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've officially done 52 podcasts in 52 weeks. So 1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary. It's so huge.
It's amazing.
We actually didn't plan to do it specifically on Monday every week. Like that wasn't something we were aiming for, but I think we got like 15 weeks in and we're like, we've been doing this really consistently. We got to make this a thing. And so other than that one Sunday where we just forgot, it, kind of gave us enough momentum to be here, which is super cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah. I looked at the other day that the average podcast makes it in between 7 to 10 episodes.
Wow.
Is the length of most people starting a podcast. And so we've already quintupled that, I think would be the word, right word for that. Cool.
Yeah.
More than quadrupled. So yeah, so it's exciting. It's been a fun year doing this with you. And for those of our faithful listeners who are here with us from week 1 or just hopping in now, it's been fun.
Yeah. We're going to give a shout out to some of those faithful listeners at the end, so stay tuned. But right now we're going to get into some stats.
All right.
Christina, why don't you lead us off?
So here's a little bit of stats on our most listened to episode this last year was in season 4, episode 5. And the topics were, can a messy home lead to physical health issues? And how does declaring bankruptcy work?
Yeah. Who would have known?
Right?
Honestly. Those are kind of fear-mongering titles. And so I understand why people clicked on it. But the retention on it was super high too. So people like that.
And I found those to be both very fascinating topics personally. I didn't know how bankruptcy worked prior to researching for that episode. It's something you hear about, but then actually looking into, it's quite a process and is more common than one would think. And the messy home leading to physical health issues I found to be fascinating as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It barely beat out the episode with Carson Acton, the reigning champion of the most listened to episode, which would be season 2, episode 4, Cemeteries, Veganism, and the Huberman Protocol. That one was the reigning champion for probably
for half a year. Yeah.
For half a year, maybe a little bit over. But we got to thank that guy because he really pushed the ratings when he came enough to hold that record for 2 seasons.
Well, it was quite bold, the first appearance on a podcast and to talk about cemeteries.
Definitely.
And then for me in turn to talk about veganism, very different. It might lead to an earlier cemetery time as well. Who knows? But in the Huberman Protocol, your
to
topic
lengthen your life.
balanced it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. The hero's journey right
Love
there.
it. Speaking of lengthening, our longest episode of this past year was season 2, episode 4, Cemeteries, Veganism, and the Huberman Protocol. I think likely because we had 3 topics, but and we just had so much fun recording it.
Oh, yeah.
So that episode was an hour and 18 minutes long, where most of our episodes, I think, are around 40 minutes.
For sure. And that's going to happen when you have 3 people talking about 3 different things, but it's also going to happen when you have a really interesting wife and a really interesting friend on the podcast and myself. And I don't know. I felt the whole time it was an engaging conversation. And so an hour and 18 minutes, that may seem like a lot, but if you go back and listen to that, like I've done a couple times, I mean, it's just fun from beginning to start.
It's a good time.
Yeah. Cool. So some things we added each season. So if you remember, and if you've been listening for a while, we add a segment or take away a segment and add a new segment pretty much once a season.
Yeah.
So some of the things that we've tried over this past year have been a tier list segment, a would you rather segment, a philosophical question segment, a pop culture debate, a conspiracy corner, which is still rolling.
Yep.
Or
just finished up.
Yeah, we just finished that up. A myth busting segment, which I love.
I think we got to keep that.
Really think we should keep that. And a recommends segment, which the credit goes out to the Yake brothers for that idea. But that's also become a bit of a staple.
Yes,
for
the
our
recommends, and then myth busting kind of took the place of like a random fact. And so, which did you like best out of like the tier list, the philosophical questions, pop culture, conspiracy? Yeah, what was your favorite
Honestly, the tier list,
for a season?
I really miss them.
We could do it again.
I think maybe for an odd episode every
Mm-hmm.
here and there, we should do a tier list just because it was so fun to
It was
hear
fun.
somebody's opinion and then hear them defend it. Yeah, I like the tier list a lot. I also think the conspiracy corner this season has been really interesting
Mm-hmm.
to hear about stuff and different conspiracy theories that you've never thought of before.
Right.
Some of them are pretty out there. So I think those two are probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I would say that, oh man, I really liked all of them for a variety of reasons. But Conspiracy Corner, I think, was my favorite just because
Really?
it was just a little outlet into of just different conspiracy theories that I hear about throughout, the month or week, and to have some justification for digging into it. And the philosophical questions were,
Yeah.
I enjoyed, although some of them were a little too intense. I'm like,
They were
I
very
don't want to do
intense.
any of that. Very nice. Cool. All right. What was an episode that you did personally that you learned the most from?
Oof. I think it would be season 5, episode 1,
Okay.
which was the "Is any amount of alcohol okay" episode. And you also did "Were the moon landings real?" I think that was a great segment. But I really did not understand the poison that is alcohol that I was shoving into my body years ago.
Right.
And so that was probably the episode I learned the most from this last season, but also this last year
Love it.
that I can think of.
Right.
Yeah. What about you?
I think that the episode I learned the most from in researching was season 3, episode 9, and the topics were negative mindsets, which was your topic, and then mine was the social security system and how it works. That was something that was interesting to me, and there was even some aspects of it that I didn't even explain perfectly, even when I'd researched it for a couple hours. And so I liked that one. I learned a lot from that one. And then season 4, episode 4, the topic of are seed oils really that bad for you?
Yeah.
Was quite exciting to find out the process.
They
of
are.
how they're bad for
They're
you.
really that bad for
They
you.
really are that bad for you. Yeah, so I learned a lot from those episodes.
Awesome. What was the episode that I did that you found to be the most interesting?
I had put down before I saw that it was the episode you learned the most from was the season 5, episode 1,
Oh.
is any amount of alcohol okay?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I just found that to be, I knew alcohol wasn't good for you, but just finding out, even myths you busted about like how, a glass of wine can be good for your heart. And it's like whatever element in wine is good for your heart, you'd have to drink like 100 bottles of wine to achieve.
Yeah.
And thus would be dead.
Yes.
Yeah, I just thought it was a real unbiased scientific look at alcohol.
Cool. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. What was one that you learned the most from for me?
That would be season 5, episode 8. What is life in Turkmenistan like? That was wild.
It was
I
fun.
had vaguely heard of Turkmenistan. Like I said, just whispers of the name, not really knowing anything. But then when you describe what life was like there, I was like, this is a Narnia place. This is like a dark Narnia. This isn't real. But I definitely learned the most because I was so like enthralled.
Yeah.
I was like, this is just so outlandish to listen to.
Yeah.
And I think that enabled me to retain that information and be like, I'll store this away. I'll probably never need this, but this is so interesting. I can't help but pay attention
There
to.
we go.
Yeah, you did a great job presenting that one.
Thank you. Thank you. So what is something that you would change or do differently for our next year of podcasting?
I think personally, just like a personal growth thing, but I think I would have more fun.
Okay.
I'll just relax more.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time I'm trying to get my point across so hard that I forget that we're trying to just enjoy ourselves during the podcast, and I lose myself in the topic rather than engaging with you and having a real conversation about stuff.
Yeah.
So that's huge for me. I really just want to have more fun with it and like talk, just have a discussion.
Yeah.
And another thing would be to bring people on. I
Okay,
really
more
enjoyed.
guests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed having Carson on those 2 times we did, and I feel like now we've loosened up enough and we have this format down good enough
Yeah.
that we could have somebody on and it wouldn't trip us up, and we could have a good time engaging with them as well, instead of just focusing on, okay, now we go to this segment, now we go to that segment. I think we're practiced enough to really be entertaining with somebody else and also help them shine and show what they're interested in. Because I know a lot of the time, the topics I'm going to do, or what I'm interested in. So it'd be fun to throw somebody different into the mix and be like, all right, what's this weird point of view they have on this strange thing they're interested in?
I love it.
Yeah. I'd
That's
love to
cool.
have guests on.
That's good.
What about you?
I agree with you. I'd like to have more guests on. I think it's always enjoyable and cool to learn from different perspectives. I would also like to in the future have more of a theme in mind per season that I could build on.
Yeah.
So choosing some topics that I could talk about for a few weeks in a row. I did that slightly with some of the conspiracy theories, like flat earth and moon landings could fit together and some other elements of that. But I would like to, choose some topics that can build on each other and be referenced back to. Because some of these themes, or even like today, we recorded the government cheese episode. I'm like, that could have gone like 4 different in-depth things. You could have talked about school food programs. You could have talked about just the Got Milk campaign or just government cheese. That's an idea. And I'd like to also have more questions or more topics that elicit like discussion, rather than sometimes I get so into like the information. I'm like, let me just talk for like 8 minutes, kind of monologue. Yeah. So more stuff that we can discuss together.
I like that. Yeah. So kind of similar to mine, just like the more discussion, guests. Yeah. I like that.
Thanks.
You had a third one too.
I did.
Did you?
That's it.
Those are the 2?
Yeah. Well, and then having more guests on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're twins.
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 Where have you been?
Twin. Okay, so lastly, before we get to the fun part of this podcast, the bloopers and the funny shorts we did, we want to thank everybody out there for listening, for following. We want to thank a couple specific people, Carrie and Fred Pitzel, longtime listeners, longtime mom and dad of my favorite person in the world.
They've been listening to me for 31 years.
I know, and they
all
still
my
haven't got
random.
tired of
Did
it.
you know? As a 3 or 4 year old.
Actually.
We want to thank them so much. They've supported us in this podcast and in real life so often that, I don't know, they're at sainthood level in my heart and my brain. So thank you, Carrie and Fred. Thank you, Beth Castaneda. We want to thank you for all the support you've shown us and every way that you've shown up for us outside of this as well. My mama, she's the best mama out there. Sorry, Carrie.
Best mama for you.
Yes, best mama for
mama
me.
for me is my mama. So.
There we go.
Who I never have called mama before. But all right. Moving
Mama.
on. Mama.
We want to thank Carson Acton, one of our most loyal listeners. That guy is so solid and a great podcast guest. You will all be receiving a No Bad Days sticker for free. Woo. For being such loyal listeners. Thank you guys so much. If you'd like to join the loyal listener list, write us in at stuffthatwelikepodcast@gmail.com and tell us about your favorite episode, and you could possibly win some free merch in the future. So do that.
Yep.
Or you can DM us at stuffthatwelikepodcast on Instagram and we'll get you added. So without further ado, I think it's time for bloopers.
I think it's time for bloopers.
Okay, enjoy this season's funny antics.
Good moments.
Yeah, good moments. We'll see you guys next year.
All right. As in next week.
For our next year, I guess.
Imagine we just go silent until 2026.
2026. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's like normal. Cool. All right. Well, this has been Stuff That We Like / enjoy, at least this point in time. Please enjoy our bloopers, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. So, the latest global research reviewed millions of people and concluded the safest level of alcohol consumption is none.
Okay.
That's it.
Wow, that's pretty recent, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, the risks are cancer, high blood pressure, depression,
Small brain.
small brain.
Small brain syndrome.
If small brain was a side effect of a medication, I'd be like, I'm not taking that.
Well, I mean, but it's true. Think of how many medications, though, advertisements we see. Like Ozempic may cause
Yes.
death, frozen blindness.
For sure.
Small
But if one
brain.
of those said small brain,
You just make things less scientific. Just
should.
small brain.
Yeah, if they just said small brain, it would scare so many people
Yeah,
away.
my brain's already small
Yeah.
enough. How interesting.
3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody.
Hello?
Are you doing it?
I mean,
Okay, yeah, all right. We can do that. You can open it. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to
Stuff that we like slash enjoy, at least at this point in
time. I'm your host, Christina, and this is
Caleb.
So the bubonic plague was the most common form that this bacteria spread through, and it was spread through flea bites, which caused swollen lymph nodes, which are why that's why it's called bubonic. Boobus. They got
Got boobs on their neck. Oh, I got boobed.
yeah, something
no.
like that. It caused a fever and then gangrene, and the mortality rate was in between.
Getting boobed. It's so.
It's spelled B-U-B-O-E-S. Boobos.
Wait, say it one more time.
B-U-B-O-E-S.
B-O-B-S. Boobos.
Yes. Sorry.
So, wait, they got boobos.
Yes.
So you weren't kidding when you were
No.
like, they got boobed.
Yes,
They
that's
got
what.
boobos.
That's why it's called the bubonic plague.
I think that's a kid's show. Boobos.
That's
Booba.
That's Bluey.
No, Booba. It was a kid's show when we were younger.
Oh, I never watched
Yeah.
that.
You don't want to get boobad. It's
Okay.
not a good show. I'm not going to join the military
Okay.
unless I'm drafted. Then I
No.
don't have a choice.
Well, you have scoliosis, so you can have a choice.
If they lower the requirement needs, then I'll go. If I get drafted.
Because cities have a lot of pigeon
That's
poop.
true.
I've had birds poop on me,
Yeah.
and that was real.
Mm-hmm.
And one time I had what I thought a bird pooped on me. I was very upset, and I realized I just had spilled a little clam chowder on myself. So, might have been clam chowder. We were driving back from Colorado, and like your car was at the airport, and my car, we drove back in, and we got in a fight right before the airport.
Right.
So you get in the car, and then I went to Chick-fil-A, and I ate all the food, and I got home before you, and I went and hid it in like a bush, the
did you
bag.
really?
And then I drove your car the next day. There's those McDonald's bags, and we were trying to hide it from each other.